Here's my avocado plants. Looking nice. Look at this big tree looking thing here. Oh yeah. I've got this 300 watt equivalent CFL on it. How big that bulb is. It's only like 68 watts, but it's equivalent to 300 watt incandescent. And my dog attacked this one here, bit the leaves off of it, but a nice big leaf. You can tell some of these avocados, they have different characteristics. Look at this one here. That's weird. What happens if what I do is I put the pits, take it out of an avocado, and put some toothpicks in it like this, and then put the thing in a cup of water. And what will happen when you're doing that is it'll start growing roots and stuff, but eventually it'll stagnate because it needs food. And when it stagnates, then you have to go ahead and transplant it. See, I prefer to let the leaves come out a little bit and then transplant it, but sometimes it'll grow a bunch of roots and it won't grow enough stem and leaf out, and you have to transplant it anyways. Apparently my dog bit that one off. But what I noticed, what happens if you transplant it before it produces leaves, any stem that's already there will die. So you can kind of tell on this one. Let me turn the light on. You can see there, that's the old stem there on the right, and it sort of died, and what happens is it'll produce a node after you transplant it and grow out right there. Like this one has 5 different stalks coming out of it. It's got soil in the way. You can't really see them much anymore, but it had 5 stalks coming out. Now it's only got 2, and then it turned this one into a main one. And now this one's really weird here. It's been like that for a while. It's growing slow. This one here, it was growing. It's unfortunate. This one might die. It was an ideal specimen. It was growing. I had it in the water, and it was growing. But the problem was, the stem just kept growing, and I was gone for about a day or so. The thing got so tall, and I guess it might have got waterlogged, and it bent over on itself. So you can tell, it bent over on itself, and here it is right here. Anyways, so that's a tip. And these 2 plants here, maybe these 3, they weren't doing all that well. Like in the water, they would grow maybe some roots, but they wouldn't grow a stem. Or they grow a stem, but they wouldn't grow any roots. And if you have that happen, go ahead and transplant it in the soil, and it seems to come back and grow nicely. And nice looking plants. Got them in this is organic, like Miracle-Gro organic potting soil mixed with like, I don't know, a third perlite or something. about a third perlite's good, or even up to a half. So this is the monster here. And what you got here is all these, see. Now I don't use toothpicks, I just get a stick from outside and then carve it into a toothpick. And you can see it's growing roots out. I've got several of them. I noticed if you have any trouble with getting these things to germinate, what can be a big problem is the temperature. Through the winter time, it was like 60, it was in the 60s in this place, and like none of them would crack open at all. And as soon as it started to warm up, they crack like, I mean, they crack constantly now that it's like in the upper 70s or 80s, 77 now. So if you can't get them to crack, then I've noticed that temperature can make a big difference. You know, they're tropical plants, so they want to be warm. So if you can warm them up somehow, that'll probably help a lot. And you know, I don't really change the water out very often. I just fill it up, and like once a month or so, I'll put fresh water in. Maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks. Usually I just add water and make sure it's filled up at least halfway or more. We've got this one here. It's not doing too well. I think that could be because this soil, this is the first one I did, and I didn't mix any perlite in with the soil. There's some on top because I added some, but in the pot itself, it's pure soil. And if you know, when you try and grow plants in pots, that soil, you got to have some sort of I don't know what it's called exactly, something like perlite or sphagnum moss, some sort of thing to aerate it. Otherwise the soil gets compacted, and I think that's what might be going on here. I put a potato on it because it had fungus gnats, which is also an effect from having compacted soil. Then when you water it, it doesn't drain very well, so it just stays wet, and then fungus grows, and then the fungus gnats like to come around. And I read that you can cut up potatoes, put them on top, and then the fungus gnats will eat the potatoes instead of the fungus. And now it's freaking growing a potato out of the eye. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's rooted down in there. I don't want to pull it out. I don't know, I might try and grow some potatoes in some pots, I don't know. But, let's see what we got here. There's some green onions and just some random seed I found outside. So, when I water them, I'll soak them till they drip through, you know. And every now and then it's good to like let them drip through a lot, because they'll build up salt. Any plants will build up like salt and stuff in the soil, and it'll over toxify it, and I think it'll make it over acidic. And so you want to drain it out, let it flush out real good every now and then. But the way I water them, I don't water them but once or twice a week. What I do is I just pick it up to see how heavy it is, and if it feels real light, then I'll soak it thoroughly, at least till it drains through here. And then I basically just leave it alone until it does that again, until the thing gets real light. You don't want to keep it with any plant. You don't really want to, I guess different plants require different water amounts, but generally, you want to let it dry out some. You don't want to keep it soaked, because that'll lead to root rot. And fungus and fungus gnats. And also, when the soil dries out, it promotes the roots to like grow a bunch, to stretch out and look for the water. So I don't just water it like a little bit every day. I'll freaking soak it and then let it get pretty, not completely dry, but you can tell, you know, the thing will get light. It'll feel light. And then soak it again. And that's how I do it. And this is the real beauty here. Anyways, I'm wondering, you know, if they're ever gonna grow out those nodes into another branch. I mean, and more leaves on the same branch. You'll see some of them, like this one's stretching out big time. You know, it's stretching. And this one kind of grows one leaf at a time. This one grows a set of leaves at a time. And so they seem to have different genetic traits and stuff. And like, look at that dog out there. Hey, buddy. Arr. Anyways, I noticed on this plant I was going to show you. These leaves, they grow real close to each other. I don't know if that's because of the soil's all compacted, or if that's just the trait. So anyways, I put organic fertilizer on this stuff every now and then. One time I just put a big coating of it, of this stuff here, on the top of it, and when it got wet, it just started growing a bunch of fungus and mold or something. So I had to break it off. What I'll do is I'll mix that with a bunch of water, hot water usually, and then let it soak for a while, let it seep like some tea, and then pour that on here. So it's like for tea, fertilizer, water. Alright, well, these things are pretty easy to grow, it seems. Once you kind of know the difficulties, and if you have any questions, if you're having any problems, ask me in the comments. Maybe I can help you. I was going to try and sell these on Craigslist, but because I've got so many of them, but they're not getting any responses. This they really grow towards the light, you know. You can tell. Obviously, most plants do, but one day when it's in the window, it'll be like crooked, and then a few hours later, it'll be straight. Anyways, they're pretty cool looking plants. Like this one's got big, massive leaves on it. It had an even bigger one than this, but the dog bit it off. And there you go. Avocado trees / plants.